Tonight on Let It Rip, it's the story that left Fox 2 viewers heartbroken and angry. An elderly man carjacked at a Detroit gas station, pushed to the ground with such force, he broke his leg.
I'm glad he didn't shoot me or anything, because people shoot you nowadays.
As police look for the thief, one city leader has an idea that armed security guards should be posted at gas stations to protect customers and the clerks.
I'd rather be damned for doing something than damned for not doing anything.
Can Kwame Kenyatta's plan work? Are there better alternatives?
If I see a security guard standing inside of a place of business, I feel that there is trouble in that area, in that specific type of business. So I drive to the next gas station.
Time to let it rip. With us tonight, Keith Kobaisi. His father, the owner of a Detroit gas station, was murdered in 2010. The crime remains unsolved. Next to him, a leader who's looking for new ways to stop the violence, Detroit Councilman Kwame Kenyatta. Plus, a man who's been on the front lines of this battle to keep customers and clerks safe, Ade Arabo, president of the Associated Food and Petroleum Dealers. And as always, to tell us what the law can and cannot do to protect us, Attorney Charlie Langton. Now, a little later, we've got a follow-up to the Detroit 300 and their grassroots efforts to stop crime one life at a time. But right now, we begin with a crime that left all of us shocked and angry. It's the story of Aaron Brantley, a World War II hero, attacked and beaten by a carjacker at a gas station in Detroit.
Lord, you might say. All I knew was I was on the ground. I went to get up. I couldn't get up. I'm glad he didn't shoot me or anything, because people shoot you nowadays. What could I say to him? He knows it's wrong. He should be caught. But I guess the Lord knows best. He knows what he has done, and he'll get it one day, whatever has happened. And I hope the police catches him. The people was passing by me just like I wasn't anything. They're going and getting gas. And they saw I was crawling, and I don't know, they don't know that I was hurt or something.
Now, this is video from that BP gas station on West McNichols at Fairfield. Mr. Brantley suffered a broken leg in the attack. He had to crawl from the pumps into the station for help, and what's worse, not one person, nobody, after seeing him crawling here, nobody bothered to help him until he got inside. Now, Mr. Brantley was invited here tonight, but I spoke to his granddaughter. She tells me he's recovering. We wish him well in a speedy recovery. Let's turn now to Councilman Kwame Kenyatta, and I have to ask you, Councilman, when you see something like that, would your plan work? Tell us about it. How would it work?
Well, I don't know if it'll work, Hugh, but, we have to try everything. There are so many different plans that we're looking at. You got Detroit 300. The prosecutor has come out and talked about a plan. The FBI and the Detroit police has come out. You have many different groups looking at many different areas because crime is all over and is throughout. But what we are saying, and we're looking at, and you showed it on television the other day, there are so many incidents that have happened at gas stations. Abductions have happened at gas stations, robberies. All of this has happened because this is a place that's open, in many cases, 24 hours a day. And for the most part, there's no visible security out there. Even the cameras are not visible to them. Maybe that's something they need to see themselves being looked at in the cameras. What I stated is that we're looking at an ordinance for a gas station security ordinance. Didn't necessarily say it would be security guards. We're going to meet. I think we're meeting next Friday. We're going to talk about some measures that they already have in place and can put others in place. But I'm saying that this is definitely where crime is taking place. We can leave here tonight. You're going to see people standing out in front of the gas stations, asking for money or whatever the case may be. Nobody telling them to move, because I go to the gas stations, drive my own car. So I go to those gas stations and I see that, and I have to tell the guys all the time, either I give them something or I don't give them anything. But there has to be something to say that you can't. This is private property. This is not city-owned property. So if I'm beating on your property, you don't come out and stop someone from beating or even help me.
We've got video of the suspected carjacker. Now, this is the man police say is suspected of beating Aaron Brantley. This video just released tonight. It's believed that he waited inside that gas station, scoped out his victim, and then went outside and beat Mr. Brantley for his car. But Keith, you know this personally and painfully. Your father was killed.
Yeah. He was leaving the store one night.
Gas station owner?
Yeah, gas station owner. He owned that station since 1998. And he was staying late because he was getting the store ready. He was going on vacation. He was taking the family on a surprise vacation to Florida. And when he left out of the gas station, someone flagged somebody else. And the next thing you know, he pistol whipped him. There was a fight that had broke out, and he shot him. He shot him in the head.
But when you hear the councilman speak of possibly a security guard on site, do you believe that could have saved your father's life?
You know, I'm not sure. I really don't know. But I can tell you this. I think that if a security guard's there and there's more than one person that's, you know, at the gas station causing problems, what is one security guard going to do? Well, it's 3-on-1. You know, I worked there for years where it would be multiple employees there, and they didn't care. I mean, they'd hold the door open and steal things. They would destroy the store. It doesn't matter who's there. It only matters is if they get caught and if they get in trouble for it. If they get in trouble for it, then they might not do it again.
Well, Ade Arabo, the theory is that a security guard with a gun is a deterrent to crime.
Yeah, I don't think so. And actually, the councilman has the great intent on this, but public safety is everybody's concern in Detroit right now. I mean, the stats are horrible, but I think it actually adds to the problem because, just like he said a second ago, you know, clerks, unfortunately, are fearful of even coming out behind the bulletproof.
Well, we've had clerks actually killed. We've had clerks tricked into coming out from behind the bulletproof glass and then only to be murdered.
Absolutely. And so, you know, you're just adding an untrained security guard potentially with a gun out there. And
what about a trained guard? What about a trained guard?
Well, we prefer actually having more police actually out there, first of all. Yeah. If we had more police out there, maybe many stations.
Station, like they can't be at every house. And just as your house is private property and you're supposed to protect your home as well, you call the police, in fact, if someone breaks in or do something. But if you're there, you're obligated to protect not only yourself, but whoever's on your property. This is private property, but also you do have secondary employment. So you can hire police officers in uniform to be at those gas stations as well.
And Charlie, legally, what can an armed security guard do and what can he not do?
He can protect. First of all, let's just say, is it legal for the city council to mandate that gas station owners in the city have a security guard? The answer is yes. There's clearly a safety interest because if someone gets hurt, the police have to come. So the bottom line is city council can mandate it. I am convinced of that. Number two, how far can those security guards go? Can they have a gun? I would say yes. Should they be trained? Of course they should have training. Now, if a security guard goes off and shoots someone for stealing a package of gum, they can't do that. What the security guard can only do is prevent violence. They can probably draw a gun, but again, now we're getting into the gray area. But it is a deterrent. People will go to a store, a gas station, if there is a security guard. The security guard can be there. Security guard can also call the police because that security guard is trained to know what crime should be dealt with by the police and what crime this guy can prevent from in that store.
Think of this. Have there been a security guard out there for Mr. Brantley? By the way, that beatdown, that carjacking occurred in broad daylight at 10:40 a.m. after Mr. Brantley had come from Bible study. But say there had been a security guard there at the pumps. He could have pulled his gun and perhaps stopped that carjacking and that beatdown.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it was caught on tape, but there's a lot of other scenarios that could happen. If somebody really wants to commit a crime, they're going to do it. And why stop at gas stations? Why not Coney Islands? Why not supermarkets? You know, we can't create this militarized zones all throughout Detroit. We need the community to come together, like, you know, Moses and Rainbow Push Coalition and Detroit 300. We need the people to take back the city. And we need more police officers.
We got to start somewhere.
So why don't you deputize every store owner and every business person left in Detroit? I mean, that just doesn't make sense. We really need to take back our city, and that's why we're willing to dialogue on it.
And we're going to dialogue on that. And we're looking at other ways. And if we can sit down and look at ways. First of all, I see the tape that you just released tonight, and I think that's good to show that the person was there. But what good is the tape if the call is not made? I haven't heard the 911 call from the station. And probably because the attendant was too busy taking care of his customers or whatever. But why? I mean, what good is it?
Well, look,
it took a little time for this to happen.
I've had some clerks tell me behind the scenes that they were frankly worried about their own safety because there had been tricks before to get them out from behind that bulletproof glass. They were concerned that this might have been a trick too. Had they ventured out, they were afraid they might be shot or hijacked or killed
themselves. Isn't that why we need
and
a
that's why you need someone else.
That's why we need someone that's trained in security. Every store, if you go to Somerset Mall, there's security in those stores. Those people are trained to know what to look. They can spot a criminal just by looking at them. That's what we need in these stores. I was out there in the streets of Detroit today, all over. I went to the gas stations. I'm telling you, people are afraid to get gas, and no one will get gas at nighttime because it is so risky and dangerous. Something's got to happen.
And many of these gas stations are open 24 hours a day. Keith, do you feel that a curfew might help deter some crime as well?
I don't think it's going to work. I think a curfew is just going to cause more problems because who's going to call on the curfew? The gas station clerk. Gas station clerk calls police. Police come. By the time the police get there, the guys are gone because he's told them, I've called the police. Police come through, they leave. Next thing you know, I've seen it. I worked at that station for years. I've been that guy behind the glass who's had to call the police, who's been in fist fights, who's done everything that you're supposed to do, and some things that you're not supposed to do.
So what
to protect
is your
yourself.
answer then to this problem?